It's interesting that when it comes to the music industry and music creation as a whole, there is a lot of, I guess, evil and or conspiracy that has happened behind the scenes that you and I, who are not in that industry, become exposed to once, for example, these scandals that we are seeing come about. Having said that, at a scientific level, the music research shows something very differently. It appears that a lot of our scientific findings when it comes to the music, both at its origin and at its core level, appears to bring people together, bring individuals together, whether it has to do with the performance, a music performance, let's say you attend a concert, or music education, let's say you're learning music and so forth. At a neurological level, it does have a lot of positive aspects to it in that it brings a lot of individuals together. So for me, that dichotomy is very interesting. And so I have a feeling that moving forward, the more we become aware of all these scandals that are happening, the more careful we are to become in terms of how and what type of music we will be listening to. And also, we probably will be paying more and more attention in terms of who these music creators are. And if we know beforehand that maybe those music creators are not very sort of, let's say, good people, I have a feeling that as a whole, we will be more careful as to who we listen to, which music creators we listen to. So this paper that was published last year in 2024 has looked at 32 peer-reviewed research papers in general, and they have done what we call a systematic review of the neural synchronicity when it comes to individuals listening to the music. And the papers that they have reviewed have used EEG to look at brainwaves activities, as well as fMRI to look at the various regions of the brain using the fMRI. This systematic review research paper aims then to provide a comprehensive understanding of the social dynamics and brain synchronization in music activities through analysis of these 32 studies. And the findings illustrate a strong correlation between interbrain synchronization and various musical activities, such as being in a concert, with the frontal, central, and parietal, as well as the temporal lobes of the brain, as the primary regions of the study. And the review also utilizes predictive coding models to provide a new perspective for interpreting neural synchronization in musical activities within these different music, ranging from simple rhythmic taps to complex symphony arrangements, has been an integral part of the human culture history. Its profound influence extends across various aspects of the human experience, as demonstrated by its ability to modulate emotions, enhance learning, and alleviate mental health disorders. In neuroimaging, we provide an objective methodology for investigating brain activity and the functional connectivity during music tasks, thereby extending beyond the scope of these behavioral neural mechanisms and the neural activities underlying a musical experience are very fascinating, in that the music interactions, whether it's when we are listening to music or where we are performing it, or when we are in a concert listening to music within a big crowd, it appears that it affect and amplifies our neural activities within our brain. In hyperscanning techniques, we record the neural activities of individuals not only on one person, but two or several people simultaneously. And so it is for that reason this paper, when it talks about hyperscanning, it essentially means that it has captured the neural activities of the brains of several individuals, hence their ability to see what the active listening to music does to not only one individual, but when there are several individuals doing it simultaneously. The emergence of hyperscanning, or observing the neural activities of several, two or more individuals together, has brought a paradigm shift in the social cognitive neuroscience by enabling the simultaneous measurements of brain activity across multiple individuals. By leveraging hyperscanning, research has delved into the synchronization of brain function during social interactions, thereby enriching our understanding of coordination within the communicative, educational, or understanding of these musical activities. Let's say you go to a concert. So in this case, this type of neural activity observation is not only done on one individual, but for example, on several individuals who are attending the same concert simultaneously. Another advantage of hyperscanning, or looking at the brain activities of several individuals simultaneously, is its capability to explore the interbrain synchronization in real time, which is a critical factor in investigating the synchronicity of the neural activities among individuals who participate in music performance, or again, as I mentioned, going into a concert. Now, this brain synchronization refers to the alignment of the neural activities across the brains of individuals who engage in a shared musical activities, emphasizing the temporal changes in this synchronization. For example, one of these research papers back in 22 demonstrated that the consistency and familiarity of rhythm between duos significantly influence this interbrain synchronicity. Additionally, the study also suggests that an increase in the internal brain synchronicity does not necessarily indicate improved cooperative performance. Instead, it may indicate a higher utilization of cognitive resources for cognitive processing. Another study back in 2020 discovered a direct correlation between the level of synchronization in the brain activity among several individuals and the emotional intensity and enjoyment that they reported while listening to the same music. This finding shows that the neural mechanisms by which our brains engage in emotional resonance in response to music, highlighting the role of synchronized neural responses in shared emotional experience. These scientific findings underscore the critical role of internal brain synchronization in revealing the complex social behavior and emotional reactions that occur during musical performances and, for example, music therapies for that matter, such as the studies, for example, done back in 2020 or 2023, who revealed that the stronger internal brain synchronization in different pairs of, for example, music therapy that was conducted in these sessions compared, for example, to storytelling sessions where the music therapies appear to be much stronger than any other type of therapy. These researchers also emphasize that by doing the hyperscanning technology, meaning to say looking at two or more individuals simultaneously in terms of their brain activity, has significantly propelled the exploration of musical themes in psychology by providing empirical evidence of the neural synchronization that underpins social and emotional processes during musical activities. It serves as a bridge linking the subjective experience of music with objective physiological data, thereby establishing a robust framework for examining the intricate interactions between the brains of the individuals, their behavior, and their environments within musical context. Scientific insights not only deepen our comprehension of classical theories in musical interactions such as empathy theory and affective synchronization theory, which underscore emotional synchronization in musical activity, but also bear practical implications for enhancing the efficacy of music-based intervention in therapy, education. While these type of scientific research appear to look at the impact, for example, in this case of music onto the brain synchronization, we already know that essentially anything that happens around us that we can absorb by our sensory system impacts our neural activities, whether it's positive, negative, neutral, however you want to call it. And music is definitely not an exception because it does have play a huge role in our everyday task. I don't know about you, but I know some people who cannot be quiet in their environment. Even if they're by themselves, they always play some type of music if, for example, they don't have the TV on. And so it definitely is very important to understand the impact of anything that we absorb through our sensory system, and music is extremely important. So it makes you think, if music has such power in terms of synchronizing our internal brain neural activities, that we may or may not be aware of, should we be careful as to what type of music and what type of messaging we listen to? I don't know about you, but I have become more and more aware in terms of the people who create that music, because to me, if the creators of those music already, for example, are in an environment that it's so toxic and so the lowest level of humanity and what we think humanity should be, if they are creating that type of a music, do I really want to consume it, even if the music is really well done? And all the scandals that are coming out, I don't know about you, but it has made me extremely aware as to why I need to be careful in terms of what I consume. The consumption goes to anything for that matter. Any type of content that we consume impacts our neurons and our brain and our existence for that matter. And again, music is not an exception, and music might arguably be even more important because it does include a huge part of our day-to-day lives, and we listen to music a lot. So the question is, assuming that music has such an impact on our brains and our neural activities and hence the rest of the body based on scientific studies, do we want to consume any type of music? And more importantly, do we want to consume music from music creators who are not living to the highest level of what humanity should be and what humanity should represent? And to me, that's becoming more and more important, because I feel like anytime I listen to some music, I actually tend to look at and investigate first and foremost who the creator of that music and that content is. And then I ask myself, do I really want to listen to a music and or a content that that type of a person has created? Because I know that in one way or another, it's going to impact my brain, hence impact the rest of my body, hence potentially impact my day, my decisions, and eventually who I am. But that's just how I think about it, and I just thought it was very interesting to see what science says about music, and then what we consume as listeners. And definitely I'd be curious to see what you think about it as well. Okay guys, that's all I had for today, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.